All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a great way. It is Saturday, September 3rd, the final weekend unofficially of summer. But you know what? That's okay because we are now on the direct path towards the end of the year to make things gooder and gooder every day, as Robert likes to say. And of course, if you get 1% gooder every day for an entire year, you're 365% gooder by the end of the year, or at least a year from now. So we are so glad and happy to have you with us today. It is an amazing day because it is Ask Me Anything Day. And we are very, very excited. Yes, absolutely, positively, Robert. Today, we get to ask questions of a multimillionaire. Now, a lot of times, you don't get that opportunity. It looks like we are now live on the Facebooks, according to what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
There we are. So awesome.
Excellent.
It's okay. I gotta mute that because there we go. I'm in my ear. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity to ask questions of a certified documentation beats conversation multimillionaire. Robert has done this. He's been doing this for 35 years. He literally has gone from the bottom all the way to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom, to the top again and again. So he knows that he's been doing things the right way. Everybody has their course where there's paths that changes. It's not a direct path from top to bottom. It's always circular or roundabout or whatever. Anyways, the bottom line is you can ask Robert any question that you would like on Ask Me Anything. Now, it's very simple. Since we have both Facebook online now and our friends here in the Zoomcast, we want you to do this. If you have a question, put your cursor at the bottom of this window. If you're in Zoom, the bottom of the window that you have in front of you. Click on the participants button. The list of names will appear to the right of the screen. Look at the bottom of that list and click on raise hand button. It will notify us that you have a question, like Bill Shoemaker. Got your name right this time, Bill, has already got his hand up. Or at the very bottom, there is something there that's a button that says reactions. If you click on reactions, there is another button that says raise hand. So that's one way that you can ask questions in Zoom. And we will allow you to personally ask questions of Robert face to face. There are two other ways. The other way in Zoom is just go ahead and put in the chat your question preceded by the letter Q. So I know what to look for, and then I will go ahead and ask the question on your behalf. Now, in the same vein, those of you watching on Facebook, we want you to participate as well. So what I just shared with everybody about asking a question in the chat, you do the same in your chat. Put a Q in the chat in front of the question that you have, and we'll go through as many questions as we can. Of course, we value Robert's time, so we want to be able to get as many in as possible based on what Robert is willing to share with us. So without further ado, let's get started. All I can say is that he is an amazing individual, an amazing friend, an amazing mentor. And when I look at Robert, I love what he shared today as part of his daily posts that he puts up. He shared, when I lost all my excuses, I found results. And he has. He's built that over 35 plus years. And so we are here to be with him, to talk with him, to chat with him, to ask questions of him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Robert Hollis.
Bob, they just do not like you doing that. They just they just shut it down. So it's great. And Craig, thank you so much for the wonderful sharing with everyone. It's funny, I said policies and procedures, but the rules of engagement. There you go. Where'd I pull that one out? All right. But Craig, thank you so much, and each and every one of you. We did get live on Facebook. Hi, Melody, and love and appreciate you. Wow, we got like 34 people here, so I appreciate each and every one of you. And the only opening statement that I have is one that Kevin Hart was talking with Seth MacFarlane. You know what I mean? The guy that came up with Family Guy and all this, and you know the guy's worth $300 million. And one of the things that Kevin Hart said, and I've heard this from one other person, and I'm not going to tell you who it was, because that would immediately just split our fan base in half. So you guys can guess who's that polarizing. But he said that if you don't tell people what you've done, then they really don't have any reason to listen to you. And so all these accolades that, you know, Seth MacFarlane has done in his career, and he just keeps telling everybody, well, I've really done nothing. I've really done nothing. I've really done nothing. He just built an animated empire that's worth over $300 million. And he says that he hasn't done anything. You know what I mean? So the one thing I wanted to share with you that I really loved that Kevin Hart said to MacFarlane was, listen, it would be different if you were a one-hit wonder. How many people know people that, they're one-hit wonders? And then all of a sudden you get someone that, does it twice. For a lot of people, that could still be a coincidence. But I've been blessed with, the knowledge and stuff from my mentors to do it 7 times. So if you guys look at something and it sounds like I'm bragging, and maybe for a little moment I am, but, there's only been, 3 people that have won, 7 world championships, in NASCAR, and that's Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. And then you look at, people like Michael Jordan that's won 6 world championships, or a Kobe Bryant that's won 5. And, when you start having multiple championships, and I seen these 2 guys arguing on who was better, as far as LeBron James or Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. And one thing that the guy said is, who won a world championship with multiple teams? See, Michael Jordan did it 6 times, but he did it with 1 team. Kobe Bryant did it 5 times, but he did it with 1 team. And so when you look at someone like, I just said his name, plays for the Lakers right now. LeBron James, when you think of him, he's done it with 3 separate teams. You know what I mean? So I just want to tell each and every one of you, before you ask your questions, that not only have I done it 7 times and done that, but I'm still more happy and believe in my accolades of helping 65 people earn over $1 million. And 9 of those people owning their own company, and 2 of those individuals being people that are my family members, the last one being my wife. So, for her to get this 7-figure plaque is there's not too many people that can say, I not only earned $1 million, but then I helped my spouse make $1 million. So I hope each and every one of you look at that as the accolades. So with that, Craig and Matthew, I'm going to open up the floor and do my very, very best to steer you in the right direction.
Fantastic. Looks like hands are going up. Questions are coming in. And, Robert, just briefly before we start with the people, what you just described, I feel like singing the song, I Get Knocked Down, I Get Up Again, the Chumbawamba song, Tub Thumping. That's what it's called. So, yeah, I mean, it's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Because you've done that 7 times. All right.
I don't get to count my multiple trophies per year in a company. But yeah, it's a blessing. It really is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get rolling. We got questions, we got raised hands, and we appreciate you very much for joining and participating in there. We're going to go ahead and get started with the man who raised his hand first. He seems to be doing that lately on our AMAs. Bill Shoemaker, who is with in Hawaiian as well. So Bill, open up and please share.
All right, thank you. I was waiting for the Bill Shoemaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bill Shoemaker.
Ah, that's what I wanted to hear. And how about this? Robert Hollis.
Whoop, whoop.
You hear that?
We
We
did.
didn't hear you, Craig. You muted
oh,
out the system. You're so
all right. Let me try that
energetic.
then. Robert.
You can't do it low.
Hollis.
There you go. There you go.
I appreciate you.
Awesome. Robert, thank you for all you do, brother. Love and appreciate you. And
Appreciate you.
yes. I just want to ask one question. What's the one thing that the most important thing you think, one attribute that you attribute to your success?
Faith. Without a shadow of a doubt. For those people that don't like that word faith, I'd ask you to look it up. You know what I mean? It's not just a spiritual or a religious connotation. The definition of faith is speaking things that are not as if they were. So we don't get mad at people when they're young to say, you know, one day I'd like to be married. One day I'd like to have children. One day I'd like to have a significant career that I could be proud of. We don't get mad at young girls and young boys for saying, you know, one day I'm going to win an Olympic medal. I'm going to be an Olympic champion. And right now we see the incredible standing ovations that Serena Williams is getting because she decided to just do it one more time. You know what I mean? And you know, it's got to be bizarre for the girl that beat her last night because she beat her butt last night. It was her time. She was not the #1 seed. So, you know, Serena Williams already beat, you know, the #1 seed. And so now she's playing in the next round. And that girl went, wow. So the whole world is going to watch because Serena Williams is playing. I'm going to kick her butt. But to think that the praise and recognition still went to her, Serena Williams, you know, and it's like, well, that's because if you watch that movie that was really, really good, you know, they believed, and that's the deal. So some people call it faith. It's got to be belief. And I'll tell each and every one of you, if you've never had this thought in your mind, you got to find a way to get this thought in your mind. You got to be able to look at other people that are successful in life and actually hear and feel this within your spirit and your soul. You got to say, if they can do it, I can do it. Now, when you say, if they can do it, I can do it, I'll give you something that I did that allowed me to do this. Is I mentally in my mind do something that I was taught by a billionaire mentor, Roger Penske, and it's called reduce to the ridiculous. And reduce to the ridiculous is a point where your mind will say, yeah, well, okay, I can do that. So example, Bill, if you looked at me and you said, if Robert can do this, I can do this. And he only makes $1.1 million a year doing this. He's got, you know, 25,000 people. And your mind's like, shut up, Bill. Shut up, Bill. Well, you know what? I think I can do 10% of what Robert does. You know what I mean? So that'd be you know, 101,000, right? You know, 1,000. I got 2,800 people, 2,800 active people in my organization. And your mind goes, shut up, Bill. Shut up. Okay, well, I think I could do 95% of what he does, you know, so that would be $55,000 a year. And, you know, I would have 1,400 active people, and your mind will go, yeah. So all I got to do is do 5% of what Robert did. That's all I got to do. And for those of you that are going 55,000, 1,400 active people, reduce it again. See, it will get to a point where your mind will click in. All right. So I guess I only can do what is that? That's 25,000 and only 700 active people. Keep reducing until your mind says that you can do it. And let's get off money for a little bit, right? So we turn around and we say, well, listen, I can do 100 push-ups. 50, 25, 12, 6, 3. Okay, I can do things. And so it's pretty amazing how the mind will do that, isn't it? So, so you start out doing 3 push-ups a day, and it's funny how that will go to 4. It's funny how that will go to 8. You see what I mean? So trick your mind by reducing to the ridiculous. And I do that, believe it or not, with the theoretical example all the time with people. I go, what's your magic number? And they go, 3,800. That's what mine was. I need to make 3,800. So what if I could ask you to do some things that allow you to make 1,500? No, I said 3,800. Watch people take what their magic number is. Go, well, what, Bill, what do you have to make a month to feel like you could brag about this a little bit? Even if you didn't brag about it, you're at that part in your mind, Bill, where you're going, please ask me what I'm making. Please. I just dare you to ask me what I'm making. See what I mean? And so whatever that number is, if you take that in half, your mind will say the opposite. So you'll say, well, my magic number is 5,000. Okay, Bill, well, let me show you how to make $2,500. And you're going, why? Your mind will go, that's not my number. I'm not getting out of bed for $2,500 a month. Well, why not? Well, because of the things that I did in my past and I planned it, I make more than that now. That's not exciting to me. Okay, so what is exciting to you? See, it's like, I hope you, Bill, you always ask amazing questions. So I know that people probably got a lot out of that. So it's just belief. It's total belief that I believe that I could go from Williston, North Dakota out to California, and I was willing to be apprentice and work for free. I knew that I could come out here, and if I walked into a shop, a chassis shop, a motor shop, a fabricating shop, engineering shop, if I went in there and told them that I'm here to work for free and I'll do whatever's asked of me, I knew in my mind that people would look at my accolades and go, I'll let this kid play. I'll let this kid work for free. I knew that. Now, did I ever go out and work for free? No, no one would let me work for free. But do you see how I reduced the ridiculous? Going, I bet you I can get a job sweeping floors for, Victory race cars or Hooker headers or Holly carburetors or Edelbrock. I bet you I can go to work for one of these companies working for free, doing odd jobs. And so it's funny. You would not believe how many NASCAR careers have started that way. People are just, I love NASCAR. I'm going to North Carolina. That's where 90% of all the garages are. And I just need to hang out with some people to become who I hang around. Matthew, we'll get to that video. Matthew said, Rob, Dad, you got to do that video. So Bill, thank you very much. Back to you, Craig.
Thank you, Robert. You're awesome. Love you, brother.
You're awesome. Love you too.
Bill, thank you so much. Yeah. And it like you were talking about earlier, Robert, faith.
Yep.
You gotta have faith. Another great song.
Yeah, that popped in my head. So it's like, yeah.
Very, very good. Well, we've got several questions and several people. I will get to Dana and Miguel in just a bit. One question that came off from our Zoom chat that I want to share with you from Sarah, from Facebook, Sarah Baratich Peebles says, how did you rise, get up from hitting rock bottom? I'm reinventing myself now, and your story inspired me to get up and move forward.
Well, thank you very much. Who asked that?
Sarah Baratich Peebles.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much. That means the world to me. That's why I do what I do. And it was so funny because I talked to an individual today that is actually going through one of those bad times. And I just shared with them, people look at any successful individual, but they don't want to know how many times they actually hit the bottom. And it was funny because this individual said to me, I was so down that I was playing handball against the curb. I've never heard that one. I heard the one where I've been so low that I had to reach up to tie my shoes. But I tell people, listen, when you're in the gutter, you got to just do the wiggles that you do so you can turn around and eventually look up. And I always tell people this all the time. You need to find somebody, you need to find stories that really will sort of kick you in the butt. You know what I mean? Like Field of Dreams, or if you want to see a good, think about the stories where the person's like down and out and then comes back up, right? So a lot of heroes' journeys are that way. And you'll always hear where, man, things just happen. And so that's what you got to do. The movie I was going to throw out there was Tucker. For some of you guys, you can write other movies that are very inspirational, where the person is just like down and out, man, down and out. It's over. And then they find a way to get re-inspired. And for me, that's inspirational stories of other people. I think what's really, really great is the common theme that I shared the other day about watching interviews, either by David Letterman or by Kevin Hart, is how many of these people, and I shared this with Matthew because I'm so excited about what Matthew and I are going to do for the future. And it's like what you do is you try to find the path that everyone took. And we're talking billionaires, you guys. We're talking Oprah. We're talking Jay-Z. We're talking, who was the other one? Tyler Perry. I seen that interview. Oh my God. And the common denominator of all of them is that they tried to take what everyone told them was the traditional path of making it happen. And just every door just got shut in their face. So then it made them create their own way of doing it. Isn't that powerful? You know what I mean? So Tyler Perry was saying that, when he came out with, what is it called? Medina, or what is her name? Medea. He said that he was doing plays all over the United States, and every one of them were sold out when he first came up with the concept of doing that. And so he's selling out all these plays all over the world. And then people told him that he had to bring that character on screen, and went to Hollywood. And he went to Hollywood, and he said every single meeting that he had with people that were at the top of the game in Hollywood were like, who are you? They just like had no clue who he was. And he said he even had one person go, so what are you telling me? You're telling me you dress up as a woman, an old woman, and you want us to get behind that kind of thought? What's funny about that? Who needs anything with that? And so for those of you that don't know Tyler Perry's story, he decided to leave Hollywood, and he just made his own studios in Atlanta. It's like now the Marvel movies are using his studios in Atlanta. Can you imagine having the forefront to go, well, I guess none of the studios want me to do my creative stuff here, so I'm just going to make my own studio. Dang, man, that find a way. So very, very good. So Sarah, thank you very much. Find successful stories that will re-inspire you.
And mirror and match, like you've always
Yep.
shared with us.
Yep.
Absolutely. Sarah, thank you very, very much. Okay, I'm going to jump the gun here a little bit.
Okay.
Dana, Miguel, hang on, please, because Joseph Erdos is on with us. Now, we had kind of missed him the last AMA.
Okay,
So
good. Thank you.
I do remember Joseph. Thank you very much for your patience. So can we get him on? So Joseph, please go ahead, unmute yourself and share with Robert.
Craig, who's going to tell you no?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Joseph. How are you?
Hello, and glad to meet you. This is my first appearance, I think, first interview. And I hope my English will be understandable for you because it's not my native, it's a learned language. I have a few questions. I don't know if they are okay or silly, but I need this because I have people on this meeting and maybe they want to know also.
Okay.
I did something that I used to do in other systems. I created a group that's called Core People Team. That's mean those guys, everyone on that group, normally should be selected according to a criteria. That depends on what are they doing in this system. So I thought that one of those people that are practicing or are active in this business, if they do some steps, they are really approaching to that guy that finally we have the confidence to do this business.
Yes.
And they are necessary steps. Can you, let's see, enumerate some of the criteria that you can recognize who is a core people actually, or who can.
Great story. Joseph, first of all, I just want to tell everybody, for those of you that don't know, Joseph, a pilot, flies all over the place. And are you in Hungary right now, Joseph, or Romania?
No, Romania.
So
I'm a Hungarian native, but I was born in Romania.
Thank you. So I want everyone to understand that criteria is very simple, and it's all really honestly based on results. Because if people are doing the things required, there's some people that when you tell them what to do, they just have faith and belief in the process, and they just start getting results. Results would be actually having people that are becoming members for free, people that are actually buying product, people that are duplicating that thing. Now, Joseph, if people are not doing that, then they need to figure out by asking a question, why? Why am I not contacting people to get them the information? And that usually, Joseph, all comes down to fear. You know what I mean? So now, if it's fear, false emotions appearing real or false education appearing real, then the next thing is, what are the things that you're going to do to get rid of that fear? And we all know that it's mental talk. It's us talking to ourselves. So what kind of books and stuff would a person be willing to listen to and actually follow that? The greatest miracle in the world for me is just not a book that changed my life forever, but really it was a thing that my mentor told me I needed to do. So he could tell Joseph, in my language, in my victimhood, in my blaming, you know what I mean? Oh, woe is me. All this stuff happened to me. And I didn't know at that time that he could have said, Robert, you do know you create your own reality. You do know that if you would just focus on looking forward instead of at the presence and the past, when you drive a race car, you possibly could get in a wreck if you don't look straight out the windshield. Stop spending all your time, looking behind you or looking in your rearview mirror. you need to focus on the track ahead of you. It's coming very, very, very quickly. And I wouldn't understand that information anyway, Joseph. So the two people are people that are core are just doing the little mundane stuff. Me and Joseph had such a great conversation because, a pilot goes through a checklist. I think I know I did. I committed or did a shout out for Joseph in a video that we did. Wasn't it called a standard procedures? Yeah.
Yes, standard operation procedures. Yes.
Operation procedures. And that was my conversation from Joseph, that if Joseph was training a pilot or a co-pilot and he watched that person not go through that checklist, Joseph would stop him. Why are you doing it this way? Why aren't you following the standard operation procedure? And if the person came up, well, I think it's boring, or, I don't want to do it that way. I was thinking about doing it a different way. And Joseph, guess what? I just talked to, Ray or Eric, and they said that don't do it this way. Do it another way. And Joseph would just say, hey, listen, I'm not flying with you. I don't feel comfortable having you next to me in the seat. and I wish that this industry was like that. So Joseph, when people's mindset is at a place where they fear, so they don't get results and they don't tap into their potential, they need to understand why are they that way, and they need to do the things that they need to do to get that out of the way. So those are the only two, really. So, if people are, it's okay to struggle with your mental state, but being broke, being a victim, blaming everyone, finding problems with everything is a state of mind. It's just a state of mind. And so there might be a lot of people that I know of that are still scared to fly. They're scared to fly. They wouldn't be if they spent time around people like Joseph. I think that everyone that's scared to fly just needs to take some time to spend with a pilot and watch that pilot go through the standard operation procedures to understand how many hours they have in a simulator of the worst of the worst of the worst things that could happen. So that, they're learning from muscle memory. They don't have to, practice when the thing's bad. They've already ran through that scenario a million times in their heads. So did that help you, Joseph?
Yeah. And one more question I have,
Sure.
if available. You used to work on 7 other systems, and meantime, technology evolves. So now we have My Daily Choice, very upgraded system.
Yes.
So you can have everything what we didn't have before. So many years ago, we used to have, let's say, showing the opportunity in face-to-face, one-to-one, and small groups in living rooms, then in big, let's say, people,
Hotel rooms,
and
conference
so.
centers.
Now, on 8th of September, I understood that there will be the first company presentation of the opportunity, so that will be online, available to everyone.
Yes.
Except I don't know if it's in the language to all of the countries where MDC is working. So it's
no, I know that the company will eventually get there, Joseph, but for right now, I probably guarantee that it could possibly be in Hungarian too. We'll see if they bring Inico on there, but it's not going to be in Romanian. So and I got a lot of people hoping that it'll be in Spanish, but they'll eventually get there.
Yes, normally I think it's just a software issue to implement those languages also.
Yeah,
so it would be easier. Even a very large percentage of population knows Hungarian in Romania. But it's not enough to open the country for Romanian people, actually. where I live. It helps me, but not everybody in my group or my future group. Okay, and so what do you see? What do you see that you're working now differently, like many years ago when you just started?
Yeah, I'm an early adapter. And the reason I'm an early adapter is only because I had mentors that were early adapters. Normally in racing, when I worked for Roger Penske, the new technology that made the cars faster was usually stuff he created. It was always this stuff where we would show up at the Indianapolis 500. The guys won 18 of them with 11 different drivers. Now he owns the track. So I just happened to be in an industry where people were not only creating the new evolution of what would make the car faster, more stable, better, but even to the part, Joseph, where, you know, they're redefining the rule book. Some people might call that cheating, but they really pushed forward for that. So when I got involved in network marketing and started doing one-on-ones at Denny's restaurants and IHOP restaurants, I did one-on-ones like that in home meetings. As soon as my mentor did a presentation and put it on VHS tape, wow, I was done. Because now I'm not asking people to come to me, I was going to them, right? And then the next evolution was a thing called a DVD. And that made it a little better. And for people that want to hear how out there I am, I found out that a presentation, you know, had 7 parts, 7 steps to an effective presentation. And before YouTube, I created each one of those 7 parts that needed to be under 10 minutes and put them on Google Video. And believe it or not, a 4 or 5 minute video would sometimes take me a day and a half to upload to Google Video.
Sure.
And it was, you know, through 98 baud. So you guys now are really starting to hear that I am a geek from the dark forest. And so I found a way to get those parts so people could share a link. And even back then, people were okay with clicking on a link, going, having dinner, and then coming back and watching it. So now you look where we are today, Joseph, and it's just like, wow, I'm blown away that, you know, people that are the poorest people on the planet, that the world is, the way Facebook, the way Microsoft, the way Google gets new customers is by offering free Wi-Fi in an area and making sure they got one of these in their hands. And it's like, so right now, the areas that never had Wi-Fi before, you know what I mean? So I'm running into people where I teach them how to go on websites with the limited data that they have in the area that they are to find out where the free Wi-Fi is. You wouldn't believe how many people I've helped in all these countries where people will reach out to me and go, well, I have to pay for data. And I'm going like, no, you need to go on Google and search free Wi-Fi. They're like, because they think that Wi-Fi is not available. Now, businesses like McDonald's, businesses that want more patrons in their business will offer free Wi-Fi, but they didn't know that they didn't know. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's interesting to get people with a phone, show them how they can educate themselves through YouTube videos, and then how they can find people that are strangers and through the connection and then introducing them to the material. I mean, it's just like,
actually, I'm oriented. I do with every guy or everyone I'm talking to, I oriented them to your course. The first step I said, look, sign in, follow his courses, because there will come one day, then which every day you watch a video, at least 2 videos per day.
Yeah, I tell people
it will be closer and closer to the point that you will feel secure and you can do the business.
Yeah, I tell people if they'll binge and watch every episodes of a show on Netflix, Joseph, if they gave me that time, they can create themselves and reinvent themselves. And all they got to do is again, doesn't it funny that it comes back to belief in what Bill asked for?
Yeah,
And faith?
sure.
I tell this to people all the time. If you don't know this one part about Robert Hollis, please listen. Me showing you what to simply do that duplicates makes me an amazing amount of money. Why would I tell you to do stuff that is not currently working? A lot of you watch, I'll show you something really quick and then we'll move on. How many of you have ever shared my short little video, Steps to Success, right? If you watch, I want you guys don't have to do it right now, but if you guys go back to that Steps to Success video, you're going to see that this number right here is 7,000. It's 7,000 active affiliates. Since I did that video, it's gone from 7,000 to 18,000. I've added 11,000 more active affiliates. This number here, I think, was like 4,000. I think this number was like 3. I've more than doubled my entire business since I did that video, Steps to Success. Doubled my business. Now, how many people do you know right now are doubling their business? So there you go. So Joseph, thank you very much for your questions and thank you for staying up late.
Thank you too.
And Craig, back to you.
Thank
Joseph,
you.
thank you very much and appreciate you hanging with us from the previous week. And ladies and gentlemen, just as a reminder that, if you're on Facebook, click the share button. Why not share this video with everybody on your socials? Okay. It's very easy. Just click share. Simple.
Thank you, Craig.
And I'm sorry, Robert.
Thank you, Craig.
Of course. And by the way, I'm putting things in the chats on both Facebook and Zoom. So please take a look at those. They will we'll make sure that you understand how to download. Those of you that are on Zoom, on Facebook, they're there for perpetuity. And of course, one of the things I did post up there, Robert has a YouTube channel to please follow, Robert Hollis. It's there. It's youtube.com.
Subscribe.
Hit that subscribe button. And also, if you want a copy of his book, a free copy of his book, go to roberthollis.com/free. How is that working? Robert goes over that.
It's working very well. Thanks for asking, Craig.
Da-da-da-da-da-dun. All right, let's get back to some of the people that have been patiently waiting. Let's go ahead first to Dana Scranton. Dana, it's been a while since we've seen you, and welcome back. Go ahead and ask away.
All right. Well, thank you, Craig. And by the way, that thing you do with your eyebrows is kind of surreal. Does that hurt? Yeah. Well, thank you. And thank you, Robert. Appreciate you doing this. It's just classic Robert. Just give. Okay, so here's the question. We are on a mission, right? 100,000 people with a full-time income. This is the Robert Hollis repeat that you've done many times and succeeded. And the vast majority of those people that we're seeking don't have any documentation and they don't have anything to brag about. So when your documentation is a blank sheet of paper and your brag board is a refrigerator magnet, what do you do?
What you do, Danny, and thank you so much for asking that question. There was something that the world does that's successful that I was not taught in school or trade school. And because we are mentally driven, this is, Craig, you can post that, you would have done it anyway. I learned this thing in the science of getting rich, that I had to get out of the competitive state of mind. And you can watch people that are in a competitive state of mind. They feel they can't move forward because they don't have any documentation. But people that are not competitive and they're creative understands that they can promote and edify someone else other than them. And so that's just the switch that a person needs to have in their head. I never ever came from anybody that I knew, Dana, that would go out of their way to tell everyone how incredible Dana Scranton was. It's just a weird world. So when I stepped into that world, and from the time that I first got connected from Sean Hennigan, telling me how incredible this guy was, this, Bill Gould was, you just got to see him. And he's incredible. And he's showing a lot of people how to make 6 figures a year. And him himself has earned over $62,000 a month. He'll show you the documentation. And don't you find it valuable that you get to learn from him instead of me? That if you have questions and people ask you questions, that he can get the answers for you, not me. So I bought into that right away. I remember the first one of the trainings that he did for us. He said, if anyone ever asks you a question, just very simply look at him and say, that's an amazing question. I don't know. And the world that we grow up in, that is not a real answer. People would rather lie and BS than say, I don't know. They'll lie, they'll BS, they'll make up some kind of story. So when Bill said to me, Robert, if people ask you a question, go, wow, that's a great question, to be straightforward with you, I don't know. And then say, all I know is, and tell them where they could get that answer. It was a breakthrough for me, Dana, because I came from a world that, that if you didn't know the answer and you wasn't educated, that just made you stupid. And for whatever reason, I had no problem with being stupid. It took a lot of humbling for that to happen, Dana. But when I don't have electricity and I got the repo man following me around and I'm getting evicted out of my apartment, I've lost the relationships with the people that I love the most. When my life was the worst, I just humbled and I go, I'm willing to listen to somebody else. So as soon as I could edify and promote somebody else to get people to listen to their message, my life switched fast. And it worked so well for me, Dana, that if there was any part of me not being authentic, it was as I was rising to the ranks that I would go to these conventions, and the people that were at the conventions would see me get accolades on stage, and they would say something, listen, a mechanic or a person that works on cars from Williston, North Dakota, what a crock of BS that is. See, because I was still using that. I would still say, hey, listen, if a dyslexic auto mechanic from North Dakota can do this, and people are like, I'm starting to see through the smoke screen here. You're a little smarter than you play. But what they didn't understand is they equated the amount of income that I was earning and the accolades based on my intelligence. It wasn't. The money that you learn in this industry is based on you getting people in front of the right message and the right messenger, not to be the go-between. That's where people mess up. They always feel like they don't know enough. They always feel like they're not documented enough to actually talk to somebody. The reason that we have such a large growth happening right now inside of MDC is there's a lot of people that finally got out of the frickin' way. And they thought, if my number one goal is to get people in front of Josh Swagel, a 31-year-old that created a $500 million business debt-free, that's helped 20 people earn over $1 million in commissions. What can I do to get you in front of Josh? And Dana, just like Joseph said, there's going to be people on the 8th of September that are going to drop the ball again. They're going to drop the ball so bad because they won't take the time to click on their back office, go to live stream, and share this link. Click here, click copy, and post it and get it in front of everyone. When he gets done with this presentation, it's going to be recorded. Hey, I happen to know an individual that's 31 years old. He's got an 8-year-old debt-free company. They estimate his net worth right now for 31 years of age of over 240 million. He's helped 20 plus people make over $1 million with his proven system. Is there any way I can just shoot a video over for you to listen to it? Because I know for a fact you'll know people that definitely could use this in this time. Now, they'll watch Josh and then they'll try to do a presentation themselves. If you guys watch my social media, I'm going to wear that freaking link out. Because, you know, because any part, you know, I have a lot of accolades, Dana, but it's easier for me to say, hey, listen, would you rather learn from someone that makes $1 million a year or 185 million a year? I'm just going to give you a shot. You pick between what person that you would like to learn from. Someone that made 185 million in a year or someone that made $1 million in a year? Well, I'd rather listen to the person that made 185 million. Great. Let me send you a link. And if you guys send that link, if the person gets involved in the business, they go in your organization. That's how smart Josh is. There's not one flipping company on the planet you can become an affiliate for free with Apple. Tim Cook's not doing presentations telling people why they need to do Apple products, and then you send your link, and every time someone buys an Apple product, you get paid. Are you guys listening to that? You become a free person with Amazon. You know, Jeff Bezos ain't coming on telling people how many people made millions of dollars being Amazon affiliates. And then I'm going to show you exactly how to create a free account. And once you get a free account, you can go into the back office and click on training, and I'll teach you for free how to do it. So Dana, I hope that answered your question. So the way that I went from no money to being, you know, $40,000, $50,000 in debt, being on workman's comp, to making $285,000 my first year in network marketing is my ability to edify and promote somebody else. Still to this day, you can ask me questions about all the products that MDC has to offer, and I purposely have not learned it, so I don't have to be deceptive. Robert, you know, what's in or not in, you know, the cosmetic line. I don't know. You become a free affiliate, I'll get you in front of a video. So Dana, thank you very much. I hope that answered your question. Good.
Thanks, Dana. And ladies and gentlemen, you just got a lesson on what makes Robert successful. You really, just in that answer, Dana, thank you for inspiring. You know, Point Guide Direct, documentation beats conversation, edify and promote. Those items right there, those are the foundations that you've used to build your success, Robert.
And still do.
Enough said.
Still do. I just showed you guys the back office. Let me show you again. And some of you guys are never going to understand my madness. That's okay, how simple I am. You know what I mean? Okay, so look at all these people that are presenting, and including the product. All right, then I can go under company streams. Like I said, training. Oh, look at here. Game plan to master. I guarantee if you watch that video, you're going to hear just what I answered with Dana. It's like, why isn't my presentation back there? Because it's not duplicatable. And you guys can listen to trainers that actually own this company and they're telling you to do presentation. I'm just telling you I don't. All right. So thank you, Dana. And this, I apologize, everyone. This will have to be my last question. I normally could go for like a couple hours, but not today.
All right. Well, then Miguel Martin has been on, and let's go ahead with Miguel. Thank you so much, Miguel, for being patient. Let's get to you. Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away.
Thank you. Thanks to you and to Robert and to everybody. By the
Hey,
way,
Miguel.
hi. By
And
the
Miguel's in Spain.
yeah. Good. In Spain, Mallorca, all invited, a beautiful island.
Viva España.
España, sí. By the way, you mentioned something of building and promoting someone. That's very old. That's in the Kung Fu movies. The Kung Fu Master is promoted by the students. Yeah. So
Miguel, you know what industry does it the best and no one wants to admit it?
What's that?
Religion. It's like, why are you so happy and successful? It's because I give all the glory to God. Well, will you tell me about it? No, but I'm going to tell you where I'm going to be on Sunday. Go to mass with me. Go to church with me. It's like, man, come on. It's so simple. So Miguel, what's your question?
Well, I had a question, but you have been answering all the way. So the question was, if the business is so easy, why do we need personal development? But then you said something about fear and this state of fear, and that's the role, I think, of personal development.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. I tell people all the time, the only thing that's stopping you from being the person that God created you to be is only two things. Only two. One is action. People still have not learned in their mind that you've learned everything that you do, Miguel, by trial and error. Everything that you know how to do. We hear a young child walk, a young child talk. And what do we call it? We call it baby talk. And they're like, ma, 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 ma. Blah, 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 blah. And everyone giggles and laughs. They think they're communicating, but we're trying to get them just to say mommy. Mommy. And they're like, blah, 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 blah. No, mommy. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no. It's like, so first is at least children have a lack of fear. So if you put them on top of the refrigerator and tell them to jump off, they jump off. They have no fear until they learn it. They learn fear. We all learn fear. So one time you went, blah, 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 blah. They shut up. Hurt your feelings. Now I'm quiet for the rest of my life. Isn't that crazy? It's like, so the first is action. Just do action. It's okay to fail. You're not perfect. Just figure out how to do it. The second part is the personal development of learning how to be a miracle. understanding that you were created for something more than you're doing now. You know, some of the videos that I've been doing recently, Miguel, are pretty out there because I really truly believe that I'm still playing too small. I'm playing way too small. I can contact more people. I can do more to help more people. I can make a bigger impact. I wasn't put on this planet to seek out people that taught me how to be great, to be average. It's easy to be average. It's easy just to get by. But why? Why do only 3% of the people on the planet try just a little more? They're just going an extra mile. All they're doing, they got a consistent habit of just doing a little more than everybody else. That's all they do. The masses, the rest of the world doesn't practice at all. And if they just practiced it for an extra 20 minutes a day, 20 minutes a week, they wouldn't believe how everybody thinks where they are and what's greatness is like unforeseeable. It's not. It's being average and being great is that far away. It's just that far away. I still get impressed when I see people driving a unicycle. You know, people get up on a unicycle and they go around, you're going like, wow, or someone speaks a different language like Joseph, you know, like Miguel, you know more than one language. That's impressive to me. And how many times has people come to you, Miguel, and go, oh my God, I wish I could speak English. And you're going, it's easy. And you're going, nah, I couldn't do it. You're right. You're right. You couldn't do it. What do you mean I can't do it? Well, because you won't practice every day. The people that I know that can speak languages faster than anybody is they usually put themselves in situations where they have to.
Yeah.
Joseph flies airplanes in Europe. He can't even get in the air for 15 minutes and he's in a different country with a different language. It's like, I'm in Europe and you're in the car for an hour and you're in a different culture with a different language. it's pretty amazing. So Miguel, did that help you?
Yeah, a lot. Thank you.
Good. Well, I love you guys. I did see a question down here, Craig, from Voicio, Alexandra.
Alexandra, yeah. Do you want to go ahead and
Yeah.
take that one?
Yeah, go ahead and read it because you read it better than I do.
All right. Alexandra Voishu says, if you had a magic wand and you can change one thing, but instead you will lose your money, what would you change about your life?
I like to have everybody in the world become aware enough that the way to happiness is to love one another. I would give all my money away for that.
Wow. Alexandra, thank you.
Yeah, because with what I know, Alexandra, with what I know, I'll be able to replace my income in like 30 days.
There you go.
Yeah, people ask me all the time to close this out. One of the questions I get asked all the time, if I had to be on one of these shows, right, where not only did they take away my phone, they took away my phone, took away from my money, and put me on an airplane and dropped me someplace. Do you guys realize how fast I could rebuild everything? And I'll even tell you what I would do. As soon as I landed, as soon as I found a person and learned to communicate with them, I would be asking them, who is the person that gives more than anybody else? That's all I'd ask them. You know, where's the shelters? Where's the person that's constantly giving to charity? Who's the person that's actually doing that? And I would go work for that person for free. and I'd work as hard as I could. I'd put in more hours than anybody else. And that person would go, you know, well, listen, what can I do for you? Why? Because they're already a giving person. And I'd say, listen, I need a place to stay. I'll sleep anywhere. I'll sleep on the floor. Then the next thing, what else could I do for you? Well, it's easy. The next thing you could do for me is I need access to a computer and some Wi-Fi. When the person asked me why I needed it, I would tell them that I needed to do research of a company that was doing business in their area that allowed them to be able to supplement their income by sharing an affiliate link. And then I'd look at him and go, do you know of anyone personally that needs to make extra money? And he goes, everybody that I know needs to make extra money. That's why I do charity work. That's why I have the soup kitchen. That's why I have the homeless shelters. That's why everyone I know needs a leg up. I said, well, I can teach them how to make money for them and their family. Really? How? So, yeah, I just need to make enough money to be able to get one of these. Find out where the free Wi-Fi is. Time to be able to share the message with the world. Did you guys like that as a closing? Like, that's all you do, man. That's all you do, right? Love and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to turn this back to Craig. Have a great weekend and the rest of your life if I don't see you again. Craig, back to you.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I think I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Today's AMA was a master class by the master himself, Robert Hollis. Bless you, Robert. Thank you so much. Couple of thank yous before we sign off. Thank you to Bill, Joseph, Dana, Miguel, Sarah, and Alexandra for having questions available for us. So those of you questions that we did not get to, look for us next time when we do another AMA, and please go ahead and share with us those questions that you had. If you want to save the information shared in the chat, for those of you that are here on Zoom, I put it in the chat as well, but I'll just repeat it. Click on the 3 dots to the right of the to button at the bottom of the chat, above where you type the chat information. Then click Save Chat. The info will download to your computer at the conclusion of this call. Those of you watching on Facebook, all you got to do is just replay, because all of that information is there in the chat. There are links, there's information to follow, especially with Robert and his webpage, as well as his YouTube channel. Just lots of information, lots of great conversation. Thank you, each and every one of you, for sharing your time with us, for being here, and for being part of Ask Me Anything. I'm going to just say, Robert, one final word if you want to wrap this up, because wow, what an amazing Ask Me Anything, and thank you so much.
I would very simply say that every one of you, when we get done, I get done here, you can unmute. Craig, thank you so much for incredible host again. And thank you, Matthew, from running all the tech stuff in the background. But my final word to each and every one of you is you can do this. You can do this. Start out small, start with baby steps, crawl before you can walk, and walk before you can run. But understand this one thing, there's literally millions and millions and millions of people that are on their knees right now praying for an answer to get out of their current situation, and they're waiting to hear from you. They're waiting to hear from you. So all you got to do is ask people who they know that need to make extra money, and for them to introduce you to the people that can change their business and change your life. Everyone's asking right now, oh my God, Robert, how did these 140 people become 1Ks? How did these people become 100K in 22 days? And every one of you know the answer. Every one of you know the frickin' answer of why they did it, but you just won't do it. What's the answer? They made a decision and they just never, ever stopped connecting with people, just all day, every day. The reason that I broke records in this company is because I got 312 people to create a free account in 2 weeks. Out of the 312 people that created a free account, 81 of them bought something. You know what I mean? So the girl that broke my records, Tanisha Graham, personally enrolled 94 people that bought product. Wow. I did 81. She did 94. She beat my record. What? Now, I know I'm still talking because Craig asked for a last word. Here's everything that you guys know. You already know everything you need to do. So she got 94 people to buy product. How many people do you think created a free account for her that didn't buy product? Guess what? Who cares? How many people do you think she reached out to and told them to create a free account and they didn't? Who cares? And how many people did she try to reach out to in a message or a voicemail on social media and the person didn't even reply? Just totally ghosted her. Who cares? That right there is the secret to this business. My mentor told me I had to get 71 people to watch the video, 70 people to watch the video in my first 30 days. I got 72. I knew that number. 72. 11 people bought product. My first full month in this business, made over 10 grand. So the way to make this business work, only if you want to be successful, is to make a decision and do what's required. That's all. Just make a decision and do what's required. If you play with this business will play with you. It's got to be the most frustrating, complicated, confusing business on the planet if you play with it. If you play with it, you just go, well, I got to know about the product, and I wonder what this person's doing, and I wonder what this person's doing, and what about this, and what about that, instead of just connecting with people. I promise you, you'll learn what to say if you connect with a bunch of people. You will. And what you'll find out is just what I found out, that I could look at people and go, could you do me a favor? And they go, well, what is it? Do you know anyone that needs to make extra money? What is that, like 4 seconds, 5 seconds? And if I did that to enough people, people would go, well, what is this? And I go, why? Are you interested? Well, I don't know what it is. Listen, can I get your name and number? I'll call you when you're off work, and we'll set a time for me to come over and show you a video from the person that's teaching me how to do this. And now we live in 2022. Well, I can look at Vernie and say, Vernie, listen, if you have a couple of minutes, can I send you over a short video for you to watch? See, I don't need to call Matthew and say, I connected with this girl, Vernie, and I asked her if she was interested, and I sent her the video. And not only didn't she watch the video, not create a free account, but she won't reply back to me. I don't need to call Matt up and telling him that. See, because I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I just know that Bernie's not the right person at the right place. See, no one ever calls me up and says, oh my God, I just reached out to this person that created an account and bought something. No one sends me that message, because then the business works. No, they call me up. I came out of a call yesterday and I walked out. My wife said, how'd the call go? And I said, it was okay. And she goes, it's funny. And I go, what? And she says, if people get involved in the business and do something, you tell me about it. But if they didn't get in, you say, yeah, it's all right. She says, you never, ever, ever share the story with me about someone that's not interested. How many of you that watch this video live or recorded spend all your freaking time talking to people about people that didn't do anything? That's a video all by itself. How much time do you spend talking about uninterested people? Can I still go on a tangent? Are you guys having fun with this? Okay, let's say that there's something I believed in, really, really believed in. It could be religion. It could be a way of life. It could be politics. It could be about all the controversial things we talk about, right? How many of you ever have someone call you and say this? You ready? Hey, Matthew, you know how you and I love personal development? You wouldn't believe I reached out to someone, I told them about it, and they said, thank you very much. And they got the book and they read it and said it changed their life. Nobody has that conversation. No, this is the conversation we have. Hey, Matt, do you know so-and-so? Yeah, I do. Listen, I tried to help this stupid person, but they won't listen to me. In fact, everything that they said that I was doing was stupid, and this stuff doesn't work. They said it was a pyramid. They said it was a scam. They said they tried this 4 or 5 times and it didn't work. And they said their business was better than mine. No, we spend all our time talking to people about people that are not interested. What if you could just take that out of your conversation? Wow, that's pretty good, all that, isn't it? Hey, I piqued the interest of 42 people today. You guys never heard me ever say that. Hey, I spent 3 hours today piquing interest. You guys never hear me say that. What do I say? Oh my God, I just met this guy, Joseph, over Zoom, and him and his wife, he's going to change his retirement so he doesn't have to fly anymore and retire him and his wife. That's the stories I talk about. I got this guy named Joshua, and he lives in Nigeria. And the guy's on the leaderboard. He's on the leaderboard. I'd like everyone that watches this video live or recorded to spend a week in Joshua's shoes. Then you might have something to complain about. I'll leave it with this. You guys, when Joshua made enough money to buy product with MDC, I remember one day and I said, what are you doing tomorrow? And he says, I'm not going to be available tomorrow. And I said, oh, what's going on? And he says, well, I got to get up early and get on a bus that's going to take me to another bus. And when I get on that bus, I'm going to get to Logos and I'm going to pick up the product. And I went, how long is that going to take? And he says, I think it's like 2 bus trips and it'll take me all day. This guy will take a whole day off on public transportation to go pick up his freaking product. He doesn't get him sent to him. People are like, you know, I ordered some product and it took 3 days to get here. Joshua's got to travel 2 days to get there and back to his home with the product. That's the kind of people I want in my group, Joshua's. He never calls me whining and complaining. He never calls me. All he tells me all the time is, Robert, thank you so much for showing me how to do this. And thank you so much for this opportunity. There's the last word, Craig.
Wow. Bless you, Robert. Thank you. Joshua, great way to help finish up our call today. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. Please be good to yourself. Be cash. And bye-bye.
Unmute and say
Thank
goodbye.
you guys so much.
I love you guys.
Matthew, thank you so much too.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Matthew.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Robert.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks,
Thank
Craig.
you,
Incredible,
Robert.
Brad.
I
Thank you guys
appreciate
so
you.
much.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua.
Love you
Appreciate
too.
ya. Yes,
Woohoo.
thank
Have a
you.
good weekend, everybody.
Deborah.
Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Melody. Kai. Appreciate you guys. Hi, Shelley. Vernie, thank you for letting me use Union Example. Okay, love you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.